topic. We're talking about back-to-school stuff. Back-to-school tech is the sort of theme that we're going with right now. We're all parents, some very new, some more experienced. So you have a 3-month-old.
Yes.
Right? But Joe, how old are your kids?
Well, my son is 8. He'll be 9 in
Right.
February. My daughter is going to be 3 November 3rd. So yeah, I got that nice little gap between the two, but they are both iPad savvy children.
Already?
Yes.
Yeah.
My son actually has his own cell phone.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he does.
That's a thing?
A hand-me-down or like a new one?
I gave him, he has a 5S.
Okay.
He has a better phone than my mom.
Well,
What's that about?
Maybe if you passed your mom down one of your phones, she'd be doing better.
Perhaps.
The 5S was my phone. It was my
Okay.
older phone. I figured it was small enough for him. He actually originally had started with the 4S. I moved him to the 5S.
Oh, you got an upgrade already.
I upgraded him because I got sick of
You
carrying
just got finished saying he's how old? 8?
Yes. I got sick.
Let's back up
within the
about,
same year, I upgraded him.
Yeah.
I got sick of carrying 2 chargers, a 30-pin and a lightning. I just wanted one lightning.
Oh,
and
how'd you deal?
So, all right, let me explain all right, this is how I come to have all these phones. What I do is...
No, I don't care
I
about
buy a new phone every year.
Yeah.
And instead of paying for the insurance, I keep the older one as my backup in case I lose it or break it. So basically, I
don't pay insurance. I just live on the edge.
Yeah,
Well,
you got to do it. I don't wear underwear ever.
Well, I that's what I do. I buy the new one and I keep the other one as a backup. So fortunately, I've been lucky so far because I don't have a backup as of now because I gave him my 5S and Leah's phone got stolen and I gave her my 6.
Well, I got a question.
Sure.
Okay, so 8 years old, a time of grand imagination.
Sure.
A time of running around with more energy than we know what to do with. Do you feel any regrets over giving him a phone? Like he's going to the phone to play games instead of doing other, running around, physical toys? Or?
Well, fortunately, thank you, David Carnoy, he gave me a life-proof case. So he has had it in his pocket and ran through the sprinkler before and everything.
Okay.
So he is still active.
But that's not what we're getting at. We're asking.
But he does use his phone. But there was a case where he was out with my mom. And he got separated, and the first thing he did was call me, and I asked him to look up at the street sign. He told me where he was. And
right, of course he was playing Pokemon Go.
And I talked him home. I even talked to him across the street.
Oh my God!
He was only 2 blocks away.
That's still crazy.
But yeah, yes. But
so here we all right.
So that works out, and also the fact that when he's in summer camp and he goes on trips, I can see where he is because I find my friends. I know his location.
Look,
so that's cool.
No, we're not judging you.
By no means. I'm telling you my reasons.
I think it's important to talk about how old is it okay? How old should a child be before they have their own phone? I feel like most people would think 8 is on the earlier side of things.
8's definitely earlier, but the thing is that I learned from him breaking one of my iPads that it's better to let him have his own thing to break than mine, especially if you're 14.
What about other kids in his class? Is he like the only one with the phone in his class?
No, there are other kids that have phones in his class.
So here's what I think should happen. And
they're not really allowed to bring it to school, though.
Yeah, I would not think you would be allowed to bring it. I think the thing that I'm going to look for when my son, who's, what is he? He's a year and 5 months. When he's ready for something like that, I might want to get him like a watered down, like hit this button for emergencies.
They have it on watches now.
Yeah,
like GPS. Call dad.
I was thinking in terms like
that.
Yeah,
did that cross your mind?
Yeah, but I was fortunate because I had a line that I wasn't using and I was paying for. I just dumbed it down.
All right. But
because I have multiple lines.
I know what you're saying. So detach yourself from like that. We're talking more about like the general, like not everyone is in your position with all your lines. You don't know what to do with them and stuff like that. You got phones coming out every hole.
Well, I pay for my mom's phone. I pay for my son's phone.
But like, what we're getting down to is like 8-year-olds. Should they have a cell phone versus, I keep saying like a jitterbug because that's the only thing.
You know what? I think it also depends on each particular situation. Like, you're still married. You're with Stacy. You're married. My son's mother and I are no longer together.
Right.
So it's kind of good for me because I can also reach out directly to him without it feel like I'm cramping her style. Okay. Is this dude like?
It's complicated.
Is he bothering me?
It's complicated.
So I call him directly. He can FaceTime me anytime he wants. It's not like if his mother's using her phone and he can't call me. So I kind of like that. He can always. I'm always accessible. I mean, you can ask. I report to Dan Ackerman. You can ask him. He's like, take it in the other room. Because when my son calls me, I get up, I take his call. I never want him to feel like, oh, daddy's not going to be there.
Right. Okay. You never ever leave a voicemail for dad. Always going to.
Well, I mean, if he calls me during the show, I may have to. I'll reply with a text.
Fair
Can't
enough.
talk right now.
That's fine. What about other tech, like outside of a phone? I mean, phones are like the main thing.
I think the segue to him getting a phone was he's had an iPad for a number of years. I got him when he turned, I think, like 4. I bought him an iPad Mini, and I just felt it was like such a big investment that I went against what I would normally do, and I got him the 16 gig because I'm like $400, So I got him the 16 gigabyte, which is, oh God, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody.
Okay.
But he had it. He's had it. And he still has it to this day. It's still intact. It's also in a life-proof case. And I was like, okay. He took care of his iPad, and I kind of transitioned to the phone because the phone has a cellular connection. And I mean, this kid loves him some YouTube. I mean,
of course.
He's made
works.
YouTube videos he wants me to upload. But I mean, I've seen
yet.
some of the commenters and how cruel they are with us. I can't have them destroy my son before puberty.
I think that's like the big question. One, like it's on a case-by-case basis with kids and how mature they are. You started with the iPad to see how he was with it. And you also don't want to not give them the opportunity to test out things like, get really into YouTube videos or want to create things, so you want to like not set them behind when everyone else in school has something like that. So there's that funny balance. But I was surprised with something with my 3-month-old.
Yeah, I was going to say, your daughter's super young, but...
But my parents are in Florida.
Okay.
And we FaceTime, and she smiles at them.
Yeah.
My husband went on a work trip, and she recognized him on the phone.
Totally.
That blew my mind. And I also had that moment of like, am I doing a wrong thing because you shouldn't look at a screen this young? But it's amazing. She can see a screen and she sees daddy, and oh my gosh, like this is like one of those magical future moments, where you can
like mirror.
read a story, from across the country, So I know she's gonna be seeing mom and dad always do this because it's our job, and she's gonna want to play with the phone because it's what parents do. So I want to do that too.
Right.
But I'm gonna do my hardest to not give her the screen if it's possible. But then I can't judge. There's gonna be a time where I'm at that restaurant, and just like every toddler, maybe, or I'm on an airplane. You're held hostage with everyone else. You don't want a crying kid on the airplane, so you'll do something to entertain them, and you'll put a screen in front of their face. I'll have to go through those lessons as I hit them, I guess.
It's tough.
It definitely starts when you're on the road.
Yeah, right now I'm at the point where my kid, he totally understands like what the FaceTime is. It's so funny because like when it hangs up, the phone's off and it's down. And then he just like waves by, like that. Like 10 seconds later, he's like, "Okay, bye." Like, I don't know where you went. You were here a second ago. And to me, that's like, oh man, he's like something's going on in his brain that's just not connecting the dots. Like this poor kid, like and like he'll reach out to it a lot. Like he wants Stacy to like pick him up. I was like, sorry, dude. She's like 40 miles away. It's just not happening. It's weird. It's like a heartbreaking kind of thing. And I wasn't expecting him to be that sort of ingrained in it this early in his life. But he's already...
I didn't expect him to even understand what they're looking at.
Yeah. This is maybe a little tangential, but like, he'll, we don't watch a lot of TV with him yet. He maybe has like 2 hours a week of TV, right? But he'll sit on the couch and he knows the remote like does something. So he'll just like pick it up and just look at the TV and be like, why? Okay, like I have
magic
it.
wand,
and that's it. The connections they make. They're basic, but they're on point.
I thought with an infant, and a newborn, you can kind of watch TV, and last night we were watching Stranger Things, and she was watching it too.
Yeah, she felt it.
Like the whole time,
She's
just
like,
on it,
yeah.
and I'm going, are you watching?
She's like, I totally identify with 11.
Are you watching?
Yeah.
I'm like, if I had mom,
No, it's tough. There's a lot of weird things that I'm just getting into right now, and you dealt with it. You'll get there.
Yeah.
It's weird. Children and technology. It's weird.
My daughter's 2, and like I said, she's going on 3, and she'll get up. So like when she FaceTimes me, she has to hang up.
Yeah.
I mean, her mother sent me a video one time because she was kind of being a little running around, not paying attention. So I hung it up. Her mother recorded her throwing the biggest tantrum because she couldn't hit the button because she had to. She likes to go bye-bye and hit the button. She has to hit the button.
Yeah, there's weird stuff like that. We have some interaction here. On Facebook, Jim says, kids do not need smartphones and definitely not at school, But Jim, I feel like a lot of people might disagree with you, especially some of the effed up stuff that happens in schools these days. Maybe having some sort of communicative device is necessary. I don't know.
But
I don't know how
Yik Yak causes
you do it.
problems.
What's
you
that?
know, things like Yik Yak come along.
Totally.
They cause problems
Totally.
with high school kids.
Yeah.
So, because kids are terribly mean.
Right. That's the thing. Like, there's no streamlined situation. There's just the best you can do. I agree. Like, I don't think kids need smartphones, but you know, I think in this day and age, there is something you need to give them that lets them call for help. Like, we can't live in 2016, given the technology we are afforded, and have a child who is by themselves be in a situation where they're helpless without some sort of like beacon.
I think like the old school equivalent, me being old and dating back to like dust.
Dude, I grew up without cell phones too.
We're the last generation that understands both.
Well, this is the thing. Before cell phones, they used to have prepaid cards, and my mom gave me a prepaid card, like the home card. It only allowed me to call the home phone from an outside payphone.
Yeah.
So even as a child, I had that, where I guess now the equivalent would be a cell phone. So growing up, even I had some way to call home from a payphone if I had no money or anything on me.
Also on Facebook, someone says that there should be a low-tech phone for kids. That's sort of what I was
They do have them.
Yeah.
They're like 4 buttons pre-programmed.
Yeah. It's like call my cell, her cell, or the police.
But it's a plan. It's money. So if you're going to put that money down for a plan, do you do what Joey did and go, oh, I have an old phone, let me just attach it to that?
Well, like I said, also the fact that I have a really good deal on my plan.
Yeah.
It's unlimited. I have 3 lines, unlimited data, unlimited texting, and 3 gig hotspot.
Okay, here's the part where Joe shows off his plan.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's just unlimited everything in a 3
We
gig
get it,
hotspot.
Joe. You're super cool. Everyone should be like you.
It's not super cool. I was
So
paying
cool.
for it anyway.
So
okay,
cool.
so basically, how my son's phone came to be
Okay, I guess we're gonna
is
have this
my
now.
godson.
Yeah.
He lived in New York.
Yeah.
And his mom worked at 5 World Trade, and she was there 9/11, and it just shook her up, and she moved out of the city. She just could not get far enough away from the city.
Okay.
So he wanted to come stay in the city one summer, so he stayed with me. His family couldn't reach him. He has family in the city, but they live like upstate. He wanted to stay with me because I was in Manhattan. So I initially got the phone for him, and I just never shut it off. And then when he got old enough, he's 28 now. When he got old enough, he was like, I can't have you paying for my phone, so he has his own line. I literally had the line sitting there.
He had to do something with it.
There's something to be said, though, about having access to a computer, regardless of the phone or the computer, but really just being comfortable enough to just be around it. In my home growing up, we only had one PC. Now everyone's got their own laptop.
Sure.
But I
And
hogged
desktop.
it, and I was on AIM all the time. I became a faster typer, more confident in talking to people. I was able to play around with stupid little things, and I was more comfortable with the computers. Now I hogged it from my little brother, and I don't know if he's as fast of a typer as I am, you know, in the scheme of things, you know. And also there are benefits to doing your homework now. You need an internet connection. They expect you to have, you know, computer access at home now if you want to succeed. So you don't want to set your kid back by not giving them the best.
Yeah.
Well, the way it's just like when I was growing up. You know, we all didn't have computers at first, and we just went to the kid's house who had it. So it's not a question of them not having, you know, accessibility. They will get their hands on it.
Yeah.
At least this way, you can govern it. You can monitor it. You know, you can set the parental parameters.
Yeah, they're going to
to
talk anyways to their friends online.
My son's, you know, 5 Nights at Freddy this, 5 Nights. I'm like, he has like every 5 Nights at Freddy figure, but he's afraid to play the game. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah, that is strange.
And he knows it from other kids.
I cannot believe how much they've licensed out that brand. That's crazy. Do you guys feel? You don't know the game 5 Nights at Freddy's?
I guess I'm not cool.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Don't worry about that. What do you guys think about?